Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today, it is a match preview with my boy, WOLFIE from Forest Fan TV. Before you guys go any further, check out his content in the description also. But of course, we got to start the show the right way with the intro. Let's get this show started. Yes, people, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We are back again with another video. It is Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal this weekend, midweek on a Wednesday. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am not looking forward to this game. Nottingham Forest just lost, but they can score goals. Where Arsenal, we lost, and we're struggling to score goals. I would rather be losing 3-4 than losing, 1-0. Any day of the week. At least your team is putting goals in the back of the net, and you can say, you know what, we just need to be better defensively. But in our sense, it's the complete opposite. And the title race, let me know, guys. Is there even a point? Because Mikel Arteta said today, over my dead body, when asked if he's going to give up on the title race. I love it that he still believes and wants to back the team to get it over the line. But at this point, it's just not feasible. I don't believe it's feasible anymore. I don't believe we can go on and win it anymore. 11 points clear. Liverpool 11 points clear. There's no chance. It's just finished. But you know what? Maybe let's start there. WOLFIE, how you doing though?
I'm good, alhamdulillah, bro. Thank you for having me on as always. Good to catch up with you on not never a foul, man, so we can talk normal.
You know what it is? I find myself being public enemy #1 on there, and I find you're the main judge pushing people, telling them, "Yo, what's up?"
I'm the villain apparently, there, man.
You're the bad cop, and then I find myself being the #1. I don't know what to say. I am on there, but it is what it is. I love that channel. Big up, Kaz, Dabs, and everybody over there.
Boys, man.
But before we go any further, man, let's talk about what Arteta said in today's interview, man.
Yeah, I watched it, bro.
Arteta had an interview, and let me tell you what he said, because the interview that he had really made people feel some sort of way. Some people felt like, yo, he's right to back the team and to say stuff like that, and some people are like, it's kind of delusional to still say we're in the title race or anything like that. So his words were, you said earlier in the season you're not giving up on the title race until it's mathematically impossible, but you're currently 11 points behind. What was his response? His response was, over my dead body. If not, I would go home. So Arteta's basically saying he's not giving up on this title race. What do you think about that to start?
I mean, you got to break that down into two segments, bro. Is he saying once it's mathematically impossible, he will go home? You know, when you think about it a little deeper. And in terms of the over my dead body, he's not allowed to say he's not in a title race. You can't as a manager. This is manager PR talk. We hear it all the time when, say Arsenal have, I don't know, Man City next week, and people start talking to him, asking him about Man City game, he's going to say, I'm only focused on the Forest game. This is like standard stuff. All managers, not just Arteta, will have to say. And, they'll either say over my dead body or they'll say one game at a time. That's the thing with it, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't really like press conferences with managers anymore because they can't say what they want to say. Let's be real. They got PR managers next to them. They're, restricted to what they can say. I just say let them say what they want, man. If they say something about a ref after a match, they're going to get fined. But they're allowed to criticize their players or praise their players. Why can't they just say their mind, man? It's such a woke society at the moment. So I take nothing from what he says. Do I think he believes you're still in a title race? No. But he cannot say it, bro. He cannot say it. It would do him more harm than good. I mean, even because if he said we're not in a title race, those who are anti-Arteta, which I would be part of if I was an Arsenal fan, would be saying, where's your ambition? Where's your standards?
You
Do you know
know,
what I mean?
we're gonna talk about that second part in a second. I fully agree with you. As a manager, he has to say that. He can't say
Mm.
anything different. Arteta makes headlines regardless what he says. This is going to piss off some people. This is gonna galvanize some people. This is gonna make people say that's my manager showing the mentality. But 11 points behind Liverpool, realistically speaking, what's the chances of us catching them, bro?
Not good. Not good.
Like,
I think I don't
they've
know if it
lost
was.
one game all season.
I think it was with you. I had this conversation the other day where I asked you if you were level on points with Liverpool now, would you win it? For me, if I was answering that question, the answer would
No.
be no. Liverpool would still win it, let alone adding 11 points, let alone adding the fact that you have no attack, and let alone adding the fact you have Arteta. Just
I
my
think the
opinion.
biggest difference is the fact that they have Mo Salah right now firing to a level where he's winning games on his own. And you go to Arsenal side, we have nobody in that final third that can win a game by on his
Yeah.
own. The best player over the last couple of games has been a 17-year-old Ethan.
Yeah, and when you look at it and you break down the math, because he's saying, it's still mathematically possible. Let's say you win at Anfield. That brings it down to what? 8 points. So you will need Arsenal to mess up 3 times, assuming you can still win all your games. Now, you could, but the likelihood of both those scenarios happening is very, very slim, in my opinion. It would need a monumental collapse from Liverpool. This title's no longer in your hands. It could have been in your
It hasn't
hands.
been in our hands for weeks now.
But the crazy thing is, it could have been. If you had beaten West Ham, you probably would have applied more pressure onto Liverpool. And if they'd lost to Man City, then the title was in your hands, technically speaking, because the points gap, if you won your game in hand, would have been 2. And you still have to go to Anfield to play them. So it would have been in your hands. It's like it swung very heavily this weekend because that scenario is completely out the window. And this is why, for me, it's my bigger concern if I'm an Arsenal fan right now is what's their mentality going to be like in the league? You've still got 12, 13 games to go and you've got the Champions League. Is it now time to focus the attention onto the Champions League? Save these players. Can you get Saka back fit enough for the Champions League?
You know what? Let me just mention that. By the way, everyone in the chat, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button right now. If you haven't already done that, what are we on? We just started and we're already on like 14 likes. Do better, guys. Come on. We can at least get 40 minimum right now. The amount of people we have in here. So let's get that like button up. Hit that like button up. Talking about Saka and Martinelli could be progressing and they might be back soon. As reported here, Arteta mentioning that Martinelli and Saka are progressing well bit and they could come back. Reports are saying they could be back in March, late March or April. I don't know, man. I just don't trust
I
that.
don't even know if it's worth risking them at that stage, bro, if I'm honest with you. Like, okay,
yeah, they're going to be back for the second round of
the...
They're going to be back for the round of 16 second leg, I think.
So the Madrid game, whichever Madrid, if you
beat
PSV.
No.
Oh no, PSV. They'll be back for PSV.
Yeah.
My worry would be that he rushes them back. Like, one of my criticisms about Arteta is I think he overuses players. He's overused Saka. We've seen him break down. I think Timber, for me,
I don't think it's overused. I think it's down to, bro, on a real, I don't think it's down to him overusing the players. I think it's just down to the fact that we don't have enough bodies. Jesus getting injured.
Agreed.
And Jesus getting injured caused us to start a bunch of these guys a lot more. And then when Saka got injured, it caused us to start Martinelli and Havertz, regardless amount of games that they played. And then eventually got to a point where they both got injured now. And now we have 4 attacking players injured. If Ethan now gets injured, are we going to say Arteta overplayed Ethan?
Yeah, he has.
Because Ethan suffers from cramps during the West Ham game.
Yeah, I think he's overplaying Nwaneri. I really do, bro. And I get what you're saying, but
he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, but then that takes it back to the next point, which is why didn't he move in the transfer window? Because Gabriel Jesus got injured before the January window opened. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And nothing happened in your transfer window. Like, even if you'd got a couple of players on loan, just to add some warm bodies into the squad. I just, for me personally, bro, I just look at, like, from an outsider looking in, I think you gave up on the league in January. Otherwise, you would have made some moves to try. I think they may have sat down and had a discussion internally and said, right, is it worth us spending 50, 100 million to try and win this league? Or is it realistically too far gone for us to catch it and save the money for the summer transfer window where we can do a proper kind of analysis on the squad? So I think that's what's happened. They've looked at it and assessed it, rightly or wrongly. As a fan, obviously, who cares how much they're spending? You know, spend 100 million in the window and spend another 100 in the summer would be a fan's perspective. But from their perspective, they've probably sat down and said, Liverpool are too far gone. We would need to recruit, 3 players or whatever it is to bring them in. By the time they've even got up to speed, what are we saying? The title could have been gone anyway. It's like what Man City did. Man City did spend the money in January to try and win the Champions League because they were out of the league race and they're out of it. But at least the Man City fans can say, well, our board tried. Our board tried to put something
Bro, they
together.
spent 200 million. They spent 200 million and they lost to us 5-1. They lost to Liverpool 2-0. They tried, but they got knocked out of the Champions League. Man City, their signings that they made in January did not help them this season. It's for the future. So I get you're saying.
I get that, but you can still look at it and say they tried to strengthen for this season. They didn't write this season.
We messed up in January. I agree. Arsenal messed up in January. And anybody in the comment section who disagrees, let me know why. Because I don't think anyone can disagree with that, WOLFIE. You're 110% right. Arsenal, the whole transfer window this season was a mess. We ended the season with a plus 10 million transfer net profit.
Yeah.
We did not even go to the level where we spent more money than what we made this window, past season.
And that makes me question the board for a couple of reasons. Are your board just happy with top 4 or top 5 as it is this season? Is that success for them because the Champions League money comes in, they turn a profit, and what have you? Do they care about the club?
I would hope not, because I've heard from Edu in the past before he left that they wanted to win things. I've heard from Arteta until just last week, and the last 2 seasons, and the way that we've been trying to progress does not show a team that does not care about going and pushing the ambitions forward. We don't spend 100 million on Declan Rice if we don't see that as an ambitious signing for us to try to push forward.
Yeah, but then that may have been Edu, bro, and Edu's gone. We've taken him from you. You know what I'm saying?
I think Edu left because you guys offered him an opportunity to have a job where he can work at multiple clubs, and it's a raise. He was never gonna get. It didn't seem like he had any more scope for growth at Arsenal. And to be fair, bro, I don't think Edu's that good. I don't give Edu much credit for what he's been doing at Arsenal. I think majority of the work that's been done at Arsenal has been done in tandem with Arteta, and the board have sometimes held back Edu and Arteta from getting the right signings. So maybe Edu could have done more. I honestly don't. I don't have a good grasp of how good of a director of football Edu actually is.
Yeah, these are things we'll never know. These are the conversations that will never come out. I say this to all my Arsenal mates. As a football fan, I am disappointed by Arsenal because I've always enjoyed watching Arsenal play. Like when Forest were in the Championship, I would always like the teams that could stop Man U from winning the title, which would historically be yourselves, Chelsea, Man City, etc. But out of those teams, the ones that I actually, as a neutral, enjoyed watching the most was Arsenal. The way you would play football. Now, I'm going back, obviously, to Wenger days and prime Wenger days and what have you. But these are the standards I look at for Arsenal. And then I look at it now and think, I don't think you're that short. If you were to get a number 9, if you were to get, a left back, I still think, well, you got Lewis Skelly now. But he's come... These are the things. These are players that have appeared and emerged accidentally It's not like Arteta's pushed them to the forefront because he's seen them. It's because of injuries and everything like that. And I just look at it and think, you are 2 or 3 players shy. It wouldn't even cost you that much to put a squad together that can take you over the line. And I think from a football purist who enjoys watching the game, I think it's a shame, bro. I really think it's a shame. And I put a lot of this blame on your manager because I don't think he's good enough to take you over the line. I think he's done a fantastic job to progress you from those dark days where you were 8th. I remember one season you were bottom of the league after a couple of games to be competing. And I think if you brought a winner in as a manager, he can take you over the line. And I get the argument. There's always going to be that, okay, but be careful what you wish for. What happens if we get someone who can't do that? Then you get another one. Because the position they're coming into is a position of stability. Whereas Arteta had to deal with the so-called egos and everything like that, it could have gone the wrong direction. But where you are now, it should be a comfortable transition. It should be like what we've seen at Liverpool with Slot. He's not coming into a team that's struggling, that can't make top 4 and what have you. It would just be bringing someone in who has that winner mentality. That's how I see it. And I honestly, I like Arsenal. Yeah, my son supports Arsenal. I wouldn't have greenlit him supporting a team that I can't stand. And I just think it's such a shame that you're not seeing. You should have way more trophies in the last 5-6 years than you currently have, bro.
So you're saying Arteta should go?
For me, you should have got rid of Arteta after we beat you 2 years ago. I think I saw enough in that season to say that he can't do it. He can't do it, bro. He can't take you back to a... And I'm not saying he's a bad manager. Right? I'm not saying that. I think what he's done, he was the right man for you at the right time. He is now the wrong man at the wrong time. That's what I'm saying, bro. And it's not... This isn't banter. This isn't anything like that. This is me analyzing what I'm seeing as an outsider. Because you're not going to change your board. As much as, you know, you guys may want to protest or whatever, they're in it until, you know, someone wants to buy it for the number that they see fit for it. You're never going to get to be able to move that board. Okay, and you're not going to change your whole team.
I don't think I get a good opportunity to actually break this down to you when I'm on the referral. But my logic behind why I don't think Arteta should leave is very simple. I don't think we need to shake it up too much. I'm looking at our defense. Solid as a rock. Actually conceded the least goals in the league and second least in the Champions League. Arsenal's midfield, I think we have really good pieces in the midfield and we can still improve on there. Maybe get 1 or 2 pieces from the midfield in the summer, like a bench rotation piece and a player to start like Zubimendi. Okay? Next, the attack. We are 2 attacking players away from having a complete team. I think our team is so close to being complete. We just need those attacking pieces. Arteta and Arsenal have not invested more than £65 million in the attack. Now, I'm not including Kai Havertz as an attacker. Just Jesus and Leandro Trossard is 65 million. That's what we've invested in Arsenal in the attack. We have majority of our attackers have been pretty much either homegrown or 7 million for Martinelli. That's pretty much what we've had in our attack in the time that he's been here. Aubameyang and Lacazette, those were guys from before he came in. And they quickly got shifted out as Lacazette was not of the standard and he looked like he was aging. He went to France, he revitalized him. Aubameyang, let's be honest, Aubameyang became an auxiliary left winger for Arteta when we won the FA Cup because he couldn't do the job needed for an Arteta striker.
He put his faith in Jesus, didn't he? You spent money on him. Here's
the mistake we made. I don't know if you know this, but Alexander Isak, before he went to Newcastle, we were heavily linked to him in the summer where we were trying to get top 4, to the point where Arsenal fans were stalking him in the streets of London as he was in London the days before the window closed. What happened was we could not get the deal done because we, as a club, the board as a club decided that the valuation for him in that January window was 15 million over budget. 15 million over budget. They valued him 15 million less than what Real Sociedad did. What did Newcastle do? Newcastle bought him for 25 million more than what we would have paid for in January. And they said, you know what, we'll take him. We were willing to spend 45 million. Newcastle spent 55 million on him. 55 million euros, I think. And that's where we leave ourselves short. We did the same thing with Bruno G. We did the same thing with some other players also. And this past summer, Arteta told Sesko, if you want to join Arsenal, we want you, but understand you're not going to guarantee you a starting spot. You're going to have to work for it. And who wants to sign at the age of 21 when you're starting for another Champions League club, leave that club and come to a club that's telling you from the jump, we're going to play you as an auxiliary left winger?
Yeah, but it's... Listen, I understand your logic, but my counter argument to you would be we could be sat here 2 years ago and word for word, you could have said the exact same thing, that we are 2 attacking players away, that we should have spent money on this person, we didn't. I don't understand why you feel that this summer there will be that difference. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you were 2 years ago, you were 2 players away, in my opinion, still from seriously challenging for the league.
I'm looking at Liverpool, who just won the league. Mo Salah hasn't signed a new contract. Trent hasn't signed. Van Dijk hasn't signed. I'm looking at Man City. They have to overhaul the whole team. And who's to say that they're going to be ready next season to compete for the league?
Yeah, but bro, it doesn't matter, because this time in the summer, you weren't focusing on Liverpool. You guys were looking at Man City, and you should have stepped up. You were meant to be the heir to the throne.
I agree.
I for me, think if Arteta finishes this season with no trophies, there is no excuse for him still being in that dugout come August next year, bro. I honestly think...
You do realize we've already lost all our chances to win trophies. I don't see us winning the Champions League.
I would sack him now, bro. I know I would sack him now, but technically he's still in the Champions League. But I just
aren't you worried you sack him?
The mentality, bro.
Aren't you worried you sack him, you start losing players?
Why would you lose players?
Because I think a lot of the people at the club believe in the manager, especially some of these players. And I think if we were to let Arteta, Arteta go this season, what faith would some of these guys have in the next manager?
Okay, but you're playing the what if game. Okay,
no, because that's what this is where I was gonna go with next. The next topic I wanted to discuss was this right here. Actually, this is my Twitter page. Let me go to it. So this right here, Ian Wright is speaking about his concerns about William Saliba in the summer, and also saying certain players have to renew their contract, like Saka, Gabriel, and everything else. And they're already talking about Arsenal having to worry about players leaving. Now, I don't know if this puts pressure on Arsenal, or if this is just giving the green light to these Arsenal players to say, you know what, he might be right. If an Arsenal legend's telling me I need to start thinking about leaving, I might need to.
Okay, but why would they think about leaving, Egal? That's the real question. And for me, the answer is exactly to win. Now, if I'm Saliba and I'm assessing my options here, I'm looking at it thinking, you know what? This man Arteta's been here for five and a half years, whatever it is, and we've seen 1 FA Cup. If he stays, what have I seen? What evidence have I seen that shows me that he gets me trophies? Where I could go to Real Madrid, where they're likely going to win a Champions League or a La Liga or whatever it is. But if you bring in a manager...
I don't want to make this about Arteta, but simply... Are you not going to acknowledge the injuries? Are you not going to acknowledge the refereeing decisions? Are you not going to acknowledge
the injuries?
Some of the circumstances that have gotten us down in the dumps.
I hear that, bro, but you acknowledge my point that the injuries are his fault.
Okay, are the refereeing decisions his fault?
Show me one team in the Premier League that hasn't complained about a refereeing decision this season.
Everyone's going to complain, but show me a team.
So you can't.
Show me a team that has had 2 players sent off for second yellows where they're kicking the ball away. Show me a team where a referee was incorrectly sent off a player in the game, and then had a whole campaign to then still.
Are you talking about the Wolves game? The Wolves game, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you lose that game?
No, we won it actually.
Okay, so how has that impacted you? And it got rescinded. So how is that an excuse
It's just
for Arteta
it's
not
just
winning
another
the league?
example of poor refereeing.
It's an
Also,
example, but you're
the
giving me an
Saliba
example that
Saliba
didn't
versus
cost you
Brighton.
points.
Saliba versus Brighton. Did you see the penalty they gave? Some of these decisions, I will never let go of those decisions. But fair play. Liverpool won the league. They're gonna win it now. We've dropped
Or even
a
Liverpool
lot
have
of
had
points
bad
this season.
decisions this
We've
year.
dropped a lot
You
of
know what I'm
points
saying?
this season due to refereeing decisions, and that does hurt me. But we cannot blame
I
refereeing
just think,
decisions.
Egal, if I'm like assessing your opinion, I think you're coming at it too much from a subjective perspective rather than an objective perspective. Like I feel like you have FOMO, you know, the fear of what happens if we change. Yeah, none of us like change, but I just think there's not enough evidence for me to show me that Arteta is the way forward for you guys. And you have to remember the club is bigger than Arteta, bro. You have
All
to
right,
remember.
I hear that. Let's get back to this, Wolfie. I think Ian Wright is wrong. He should be pushing the club to keep these guys and not talking about his concerns about losing them. He should be talking about encouraging them to win with the club and push them to stay and win with Arsenal. As a club legend, you shouldn't be voicing your concerns about negatives. Sometimes you should be pushing the people at the club to do better. And I don't think this does this. I think this creates more negativity.
Yeah, but you're looking at Ian Wright as a club legend where he's not acting on that front in what he's saying. He's acting as his job as a pundit. And I get what you're saying. His words can hold weight. But I don't think Saliba is going to make his decision based on what Ian Wright says on a random American show or Match of the Day or wherever
I know,
he's
but it's
on.
almost as if he's encouraging him to leave and go to Real Madrid.
Okay, but if he's saying that, bro, and he's a club legend, and you know he was a quality player, should you not, as a fan, be listening to what he's saying? Forget Saliba. Should you, as a fan, not be saying, you know what, he's seeing what I'm saying, that this is not going anywhere. This is going to be top 4 FC, man. This is
He's saying
where
we're
he's
going to be in a
going.
situation similar to Virgil, Salah, and Trent. Okay, those guys haven't even signed yet, and he's already preemptively saying we're going to have a similar situation. I don't think we're going to have that. I think Arsenal is going to be proactive. They're going to try to get these deals done. They're not going to try to let it get to that stage. But if it does get to that stage and these players go, honestly, and we haven't won anything by that point, we've failed as a club. And I don't know when we're going to get back to it. But we could easily go and win and rectify everything and win next season. Now, I wanted to get on to the next season point. We got 92 people in the chat. Please do hit that like button. Bro, even if we don't win the league this season, what makes people think we're going to fall off a cliff next season and not win it next year?
No one's saying you're falling. That's the difference. No one's saying you're going to fall off a cliff.
But what's wrong with the mentality of saying, you know what, things are almost done. We have to look at what we've done wrong, go attack the transfer window, get as good as we can, and go again next season.
Because we're looking at the evidence that's in front of us, bro. The evidence in front of us is not a small sample. We're talking about a 5-year period, and specifically the last 2.5 years, where you were in better positions than you are now. You were leading 2 years ago, 8 points or whatever it was. Last year, you took it down to pretty much the last game. This season, you're waving the white flag in February, bro. You've regressed. There's no two ways about it. You have regressed this season. Whatever excuse you want to make, if you want to do injuries, refs, or the manager, it doesn't matter. The black and the white is you've regressed. So you're going into this summer window in a worse position than you were in the summer window previously. And therefore, the evidence would suggest that if you couldn't do it from a stronger position where you were with a Man City that's fallen off this year, what evidence are you seeing to suggest that you can even take it to the final game next season or even get it to February? This is the logic I'm using.
I think if we did not have the attacking injuries that we've had, and we also had added more quality to this team, we would have been toe-to-toe with Liverpool or at least won this league.
I don't agree, because this is all ifs and buts. You didn't strengthen. You could have strengthened. You should have strengthened, and you didn't. And I just see it as your manager's not ambitious enough, nor is your board. And
I
I
agree
think
with
they're
the board.
happy with
I don't
top
agree with
four.
the manager part.
You have to agree with the manager, because if I'm Arteta, I think Arteta is complicit in this. Because if I was in his position, seeing that these 2, maybe 3 missing pieces from the jigsaw are there, and my board is not giving it to me, I'm saying, give me the pieces or I'm gone. There's plenty of clubs that will take me.
Oh,
I'm not
Arteta should
seeing this
leave. Yeah.
disdain.
If Arsenal's not backing him, he should fuck off.
Yeah, which tells you what? That he's happy with it. Bro, he's on 15 million a year. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere till he's sacked. And they're not, and this is the position you find yourselves in. You're not going to sack him because you'd have to pay him too much off the back of his contract. So Arsenal are in this cycle where I can see you just being top 4 contenders
All right.
for the next few years.
Let's talk about this. Jamie Carragher, which a guy I don't really like recently, with all the bullshit he's been talking. He's saying, he's explaining why. He explained on a recent podcast that Man City will rival Liverpool next season and it will not be Arsenal. His main point is Man City are going to strengthen in the summer and they're going to be back next season, and Pep Guardiola does not lose 2 league titles in a row, where Liverpool are going to keep Mo Salah, Van Dijk, and they're going to go again next season. And he thinks that Arsenal are going to regress further.
I would agree with him more than I would agree with your stance on it. I don't think you'll regress further. I think you'll do, you'll be in and around the same position, top 4, maybe outside chance of going in a title race and what have you. I don't see you winning it, bro. He's right.
If we go and get a striker, we go and get a left winger, we go and get 2 midfielders. Is that not enough to
Okay, and then you'll be sitting here in October saying we need some time, they need to gel, Arteta needs to get them into his philosophy and what have you. And then by the time we got to December, they start to fire, and you'll be sitting here saying, you know what, next season it will work because these players are now starting to gel. Let's build for next season. It's just kicking the can down the road, bro. That's what it is. Do you expect these players that you sign on game day 1 to be fully ready, fully in the philosophy and the tactics that Arteta wants? Of course you don't. Especially if you're bringing 3 or 4 in, it takes a while to gel them. So you'll just be using the same excuse this time next year, saying, "Well, look at us now. We
no,
started."
But the positive is we'll still have Kai Havertz, who can play as a striker sometimes. We'll still have Trossard and Martinelli there. We'll still have enough squad players in the team. Now we'll have more squad depth in the attack. We won't be desperately worried, just dependent on players who are not good enough.
Look, bro, what I'll say to you, like when I wanted Steve Cooper out of Forest, it was against the grain. I didn't want him to stay. I wanted him sacked a long time before. I got hate left, right, and center for it. I got told, be careful what you wish for. He brought us up. We owe him. All this narrative, right? And look where we are now. We've gone from 17th to 3rd in the league as things stand. The thing that I think you need to listen to isn't Arsenal fans, it's opposition fans. If opposition fans, and I'm seeing it in the chat now, loads of them saying give Arteta a lifetime contract. I didn't see one of them people saying give Pep a lifetime contract or Slot a lifetime contract. You got to start not ignoring the noise, bro. You got to start at least approaching this Arteta subject subjectively. Opposition fans want your team to have the worst manager you can have. As a Forest fan, I would love Arteta to stay. I'm approaching this conversation as, thinking about Arsenal's best interest. But for my best interest, now that I see we're at least being rivals in this season, I'd love Arteta to stay because I know you're not going to win anything under him. Maybe you'll get a domestic cup. But you need to understand, you got to look through the banter and the trolling and see that not one of them is saying give Pep a lifetime contract. Not one of them is saying give Slot a lifetime contract. They're all saying give Arteta a lifetime contract. Sometimes people not attached to your club are the ones who can give you the most objective view because you love your club, you love the players, you love your manager. Sometimes you got to just step away and get an outside picture of what's going on in your club, bro.
You know what it is? The day that I see Liverpool lifting that trophy, it's probably going to hurt more than anything else. Because that should have been us.
Yeah.
because I've seen Man City do it twice on our heads, and it's just so annoying. But
Yep.
yeah,
And this is Liverpool, who didn't strengthen in the summer, who brought in a competent manager, who got them ticking straight away, bro. This is Arteta's biggest problem, is he's in phase 5 or whatever it is, right? And Slot has come in straight away with a Liverpool team that finished below you last season and got his philosophy and his ideas onto that pitch very quickly. He's made the reason why Arteta should not be at Arsenal even stronger, bro. That's what I'm saying to you.
You know what? To the people in the chat, do me a favor, please do hit that like button, guys. This is some knowledge being dropped right now from WOLFIE, man. Dropping some bombs on our heads. And just to get onto the game, will Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest? I put that in the chat. We already got 40 people voted, and 70% said no, Nottingham Forest are going to win. Bro, what's the mood with the Forest fans? Are you guys very confident going into this game versus Arsenal?
No, I'm not. Nor am I happy with the way my team are performing. My head was hot, bro, after that Newcastle match. It's one of the worst halves of football I've seen. I then got even more annoyed when I'm hearing the sections of the Forest fan base telling me that Forest fought back in the second half, won the half 2-0 and all this BS, bro. Newcastle took their foot off the accelerator. And I've not been pleased with any of our away performances in the last 3 games. In fact, we've lost all 3 of them. Where we've been somewhat more consistent is at home. Our last game, we beat Brighton 7-0. That was a bounce back after. We'd lost 5-0. So I've not been happy with the consistency lately. But with where we are, obviously, I'm ecstatic in terms of this is above my expectations for my club and what Nuno's doing. But I still think there's a lot of work that Forest need to do. And I think Nuno's doing a fantastic job, but he is not beyond criticism for me now. I think he's got his tactics wrong lately, and I'm expecting a reaction tomorrow. I will be disappointed because I hold my team to standards as well, bro. I can't now look at my team and think we're over 40 points. Let's go and lose all the rest of the games. No, I look at it now saying we're in 3rd position. We have a chance to potentially finish ahead of you. We beat you, we cut the point gap to 3 points. And then you got some tough games away at Man U. I know they're crap this season, but traditionally they get up for that Arsenal game. Then you've got, I think, Chelsea at home and games like that. And we go into, after our Man City game, a comfortable run of games that are more winnable.
Do you genuinely believe Forest will finish above Arsenal?
Yeah. If we beat you tomorrow, yes, I do. I do, because I think you will start to need to focus on the Champions League, which I don't think you can win, but you have a chance. And you finishing 2nd or you finishing 5th is exactly the same. It's the same for us. Yeah, 2nd to 5th. No trophies are rewarded for it, but the same prize is there. But for Forest to finish ahead of Arsenal is a statement. And I think it's damning on Arteta if that does happen. A team that was close to relegation last year ends up ahead of you is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So you need to win this game, but I expect a reaction. I just don't know where your goals come from tomorrow. You're going to have to rely on Nwaneri. That's the be-all and end-all of it. I am worried about Ødegaard because he's had a stinker this season, but he produced against Forest. His one game this season, typical, was against my team, bro, because we gave him the space. And I'm worried maybe we do the same thing to him again. And
do you guys give space to attacking midfielders?
Yeah, Forest will not necessarily give space, but we weren't closing him down at the Emirates.
You guys got destroyed that game. That was
yeah, because you know why? Because we showed you too much respect, and then we did it a week or 2 later at Man City, showed them too much respect. They were 2 really poor games for Forest, but they're both at the City ground now. We won't come out on the front foot. We'll say, right, Arsenal, here you go. Show us what you can do without your attackers. Leave us some space in behind. We'll get Elanga in behind. We'll test it. I mean, who are you going to play at left back? Calafiori, I assume, something like that? Zinchenko?
With Mazzucchelli out, it's going to be Calafiori, yeah.
Yeah. I fancy Elanga up against him. I think that would be a good match for Elanga. But it's a case of, with Forest, it's, if we score first, apart from Newcastle, we tend to win or at least not lose the game. The first goal.
And if we concede first, we tend to lose.
if we can say that again.
If we concede first, we tend to drop points.
Yeah, the same with us. Same with us. It's very black and white with Forest, apart from the Newcastle one. That if we score first, usually that means the opposition have to come onto us more, leaves more space, and we can counter attack and score another goal. When we concede first, now if Arsenal score first tomorrow, you could go on and beat us 3-4-0 comfortably, because there's no real plan B with Nuno when it comes to what do we do when we're behind. I think the only team I can think of that we beat from behind was Villa. We went 1-0 down and turned it around.
I've spoken a lot about Martin Ødegaard, but I just wanted to take a second to speak about Mikel Merino. Arteta's going to have to reassess the Mikel Merino at striker situation. Arteta still believes that Mikel Merino can play up front for Arsenal after failing to score the goal versus West Ham. But, of course, he says that he was more than one player was the issue. So we could see Mikel Merino once again playing at striker versus you guys. I don't know if Raheem Sterling or anybody else is going to play, especially with the Martinelli, Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Saka injuries still being a problem.
Yeah, and that's what gives me confidence. And the fact that I feel that you're at this moment where you're this close to waving the white flag fully, even Arteta, to say congratulations, Liverpool.
I've already said it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But even though he's not saying it publicly, what's that done to the players that lost to West Ham? It reminds me so much of when you came to our grounds a couple of years ago and we beat you 1-0. Your mentality was in the same place as it is now. And that's why I'm quite quietly confident about it.
Give you an update. Ethan will be fit for this game. So Ethan will be available.
You need him. You need him.
Yeah, we need him.
And the fact that you're now relying on a 17-year-old that fans outside of Arsenal had not heard of before this season. Again,
no, you've heard of him. He's the youngest ever Premier League player. He got his debut at the age of 16.
I mean, you think we've heard of him, but we didn't notice him until this season, bro. Is what I'm saying. As in non-Arsenal fans, yeah. And the fact that you're relying on a 17-year-old is yet again another negative point for me against Arteta.
Chris Wood starts for us. We know that. But let's talk about the teams quickly. This is the predicted lineups from One Football. No, not One Football. FootMob. So this is your lineup. They have Sale. Bro, I think you have the best up-and-coming right back in the league. This kid.
Yeah, he's not too young though.
He's not a kid. 28. He's 28.
Yeah, he's been around. He was in Chelsea.
If he wasn't 28. If he wasn't 28, one of the big clubs would want to sign him right now. Also, your center backs, you got some good center backs.
Yeah.
Nico, I don't know too much about Nico. I don't rate him.
Nico Williams is traditionally a right wing back, but he can play on the left side. He's been very good this season.
Is Anderson from Newcastle?
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
Yates is good. Gibbs White has been linked to us so many times.
Gibbs White is our poster boy, but that does not mean for me that he performs every game. He likes to do those Hollywood passes and the Travellas.
Is he like Madison? He disappears. He has purple patches.
You know, he reminds me a bit of Bruno at Man U.
Oh, okay.
Like he can have that impact on the game. When he's up for the game, he's unplayable. When he
Elanga, is he the fastest player you've seen at Forest? Because this guy
Elanga.
Yeah.
I still think Brennan Johnson was quicker than him, you know, but he is
Elanga is the fastest player I've ever seen live.
Yeah. He's quick, but Brennan Johnson is very quick as well. We sold him to Spurs. Elanga, again, for me, he's heavily improved this season. I wasn't his biggest fan at the start of the season. There was links he was going to go to Newcastle for 40-50 million. That didn't happen on the final day of the summer transfer window. Where he needs to improve is his football IQ for me. I just want to see him play like an old school winger. Run down the touchline, get to the byline, cross it in. Because he can burn any fullback for pace, bro. I don't know how quick Calafiori is, but I would expect Elanga to be quicker than him.
Yeah, that's where I think definitely be the quickest player on the pitch, if I'm not mistaken, on that day. Yeah. As for Arsenal, the lineup for Arsenal is straightforward, bro. The lineup for Arsenal is straightforward. With Miles Lewis-Kelly suspended, Calafiori is going to start. The back line picks itself the rest of it. The midfield picks itself. The front three, Leandro Trossard and Ethan, are guarantees. I don't know if he starts with Sterling or does he start with Moreno.
You know, as
What does he
stinky
do?
as Sterling is, and I've never rated him as a player, he does score against Forest. So
He got an assist against you guys.
yeah,
Off
he
the
also
bench.
when he was at Chelsea, he scored a couple against Forest as well. I think he's absolute dog crap, bro. But he finds a way somehow to score against Forest. The only thing I'd say about your back line is I wouldn't be surprised if Ben White came in and Timber maybe went left back or got rested.
Yeah, Ben White just got back from injury too. Yeah, you're right.
So that could happen. But I look at that team, bro, and I don't see that attacking threat from your side. It could end up 0-0. It could end up. It's all as with everything. It's on the first goal, man. If you score first, you win. If we score first, I think we win.
Fairs. Finally, yeah, Ben White is going to be making his first appearance since November after coming back from injury. Second appearance. He played last game. So off the back of you losing to Nottingham Forest, at St. James's Park to Newcastle, and looking very impressive in the attack, and Arsenal looking so poor in the attack. I do think this is going to be a tight game. I do think you guys are going to score, and I can't predict a loss. But at this moment in time, if I were to put money on a result, Arsenal win or Nottingham Forest win, I think you guys are more likely to win. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I've been saying 3-1 so far. I think
3-1. Wow.
Yeah, like the way I've broken it down in my mind, if we score first, if we score, we usually score quite early. I can see us going 1-0 up. You guys come further on the front foot. We go maybe on another counter attack, 2-0. You get one back to 2-1. And then you start to over-commit towards the end, and we just get another third one. So I would like to see it play that way. But, bro, I'll take a 1-0. I'll take anything right now. We just need a win. We just need to win.
You know what? 2-1 Forest. You guys are going to win. As a fan base, I'll be shocked if we go to your ground and we beat you convincingly.
We've only lost twice, I think, this season at home. Once in
We've only lost 2 games this season. No, 3 games. 3 losses this season. So
who you lost to? You lost to obviously
West Ham. We lost to
Villa. Was it Villa?
Aston Villa. No. We beat Aston Villa and we drew at home. It was, I think it was either Fulham or one of them guys. And Bournemouth away. So Bournemouth away. Bournemouth away, and I think the next one was Fulham. Did we lose to Fulham?
I think you drew them. You lost them last year.
Who did we lose to? We lost 3 games. I know that. We lost to Bournemouth. We lost to West Ham. Who's the other loss?
Did you lose to? Was it like a Chelsea or something?
No.
I need to sneeze, bro. One sec.
We never lost to any Premier League team from the top 6.
Oh, you lost to Man U in the cup. Is that what you're thinking about, maybe?
Yeah, we lost to Newcastle in the cup also. But who did we lose to in the league? That's my question. Was it Newcastle?
West Ham, Bournemouth, and
was it Newcastle? Did we lose to Newcastle away?
Yeah,
we lost Newcastle.
Yeah, it was Newcastle.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one. Anyways, sometimes you blank right there. But to finish off, score prediction. I can't predict the Arsenal loss, man. I'm gonna go 1-1. What are you saying?
I'm saying 3-1 Forest, bro. This is the first time I've predicted Forest to beat Arsenal since we've come back.
Yeah, Forest could at least get some goals. Where our recent form, we're gonna struggle to score. The result is gonna depend on if some of our guys can get their shooting boots on. If they can get their shooting boots, we can hold on to a lead. It's just, can we get it?
It's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be the prettiest game.
No, but you know what? People are gonna watch it because they love to see Arsenal lose.
Second versus third, bro.
I know you said you have a kind of like a soft spot for Arsenal. Your son's an Arsenal fan, but why do you think people hate Arsenal so much?
I think it's not so much Arsenal. I think it's the Arsenal fans, bro. I think it's the Arsenal fans who just can't see what's in front of them. Like, you're holding on to, the Invincibles and all this stuff, bro, and it's just a case of start demanding better from your club. It's just you guys can come across a bit whiny, and then not do anything about it. It's more the fans than the club. I think even Spurs fans would admit they would have enjoyed watching Arsenal play when you were playing well, because as a football fan, those Arsenal teams were phenomenal to watch, bro. But you have got a bit of a whiny fan base. Not as bad as the United fan base. Not as bad as the United fan base.
Hey, this is it, man. This is it. This is what we have to deal with right now. And maybe I need to change. I'm part of the problem. People tell me.
NG says, I'm an Arsenal fan and I hate them in your comments.
Yeah, you know what? Even our own fan base don't like our fan base. I get it. But yeah, Wolfie, man, this has been a good stream, man. Hopefully people go check out your content. Your channel is what? Forest Fan TV, right?
Yep, that's the one. I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow night, so
yeah, the link is in the description, guys. So make sure you guys go check that out. If you haven't already done so, please do like the video while you guys are here. And you got anything coming up you want to let the people know?
Yeah, I've got the watch along tomorrow. What time's kickoff? Is it 7:30? So I'll be live from 7. I'll be taking the live audience through the game, and then doing my post match after it, bro. And then are we on Never a Foul at 11 or something? I don't know. Cass has messaged me, so
yeah. I'm not gonna be there.
I might not. It depends on the result.
No. I'm not going to be there because I'm busy. I only come on the weekends or when I can. Midweek is a myth, bro. Tonight I'm doing another show on Dan Potts' channel at 10, and then I'm doing another show at 11. So I'm doing 2 shows, and then I'm going straight to bed at like midnight. So
bro, it's crazy this week. Crazy, man. I think,
bro, safe to say when Arsenal lose or drop points,
the phone doesn't stop.
We have to keep the people talking because there's just so much issues that need to be discussed. When we're winning, the last thing you need is to come on YouTube and to be bitching about something. So,
but even so, like, what I just say to the chat, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, because it ain't easy doing this content stuff, bro. It ain't easy. We both have families, kids, jobs, everything else. Yeah. And this is free for you guys to watch. So, show some love. Make sure you've hit that like button on the video. Make sure you've subscribed, because we don't get much sleep, do we, Egal? We don't get much sleep.
This is what takes away from my 10 o'clock bedtimes.
Exactly. 10 o'clock, right? Man.
Because but yeah, and also it's not my full-time job. I don't know about you. Is this your full-time job?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I got a full-time job, bro. Full-time job, and we do this stuff. So show some love. Make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. That's all we're asking in return. And
we'll catch you on the next one. Love people. Done. No, peace. Big up, Wolfie, man. Appreciate it.
Big up, bro.